Hello, Mark Duncan, self-healing practitioner and educator, ordained minister, aka Goldilocks. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been on here. I want to keep this diary up again, for my grandson and for my whatever they call it when you leave a record. But yeah, for my grandson, because I just know that all this healing stuff and other things that I'm doing lately rang my bell today that he's going to need this information as long as and along with other people, whatever they can gain from the bullshit that I lived through in my fucking life. And I think I restrain myself too often in these videos. I mean, some of the shit that I get into, my clients used to call my life a saga, and they were amused by it. And they kind of liked all the shit I got into, even though they thought I was kind of annoying and I talked too much, which I do, and I am kind of annoying. And it's probably why I get in so much shit. But it's been just unique. And so I'll give a quick rundown. On my physical side, if you've been following, I'm waiting for full reconstruction on my spine. My only holdups, I still smoke. And I'm down to like 4 little smoking sessions a day, basically. And I'm whittling, but I ain't there. And I can't have it until I quit. Nicotine just won't work for this shit. There's no point in having spinal reconstruction if graft material is going to be rejected, which I've seen before in my body. So I ain't playing around, neither is the surgeon. So, anyways, static there. My pain control is pretty decent since I'm taking a small amount of pain meds. And I've got really a full bevy of medications that I don't take every day, except for the opiates, which I'm taking a small amount every day now, which is different. I haven't done that in a long time. It's been like a 6-year break, but I've been on for about a year now because I've been pre-surgery and surgery all through this time. And yeah, I think I'm just 5 months post-op on my last back surgery, which basically didn't do a damn thing for me. So yeah, medications are stabilized, workouts are stabilized. I'm getting some stability in my routine, though. I got to be frank here. Um, I'm losing control of my bowels again and my bladder. My bladder is like slowed down. My kidney is being smashed on the left side because of my scoliosis. And I don't know if that's having to do with my bladder not releasing, but my bowels is totally different. That's spinal. I can feel it. It's like the extreme wang pressure on the spine, right at the tailbone, right up under the nuts. And it's the weirdest feeling. My intestines just let loose. And generally, when it's got to that state, I haven't eaten probably in like a day or so, and I don't have anything in me. And so just water and foam comes out, and my stomach just retches. And it's just the craziest, most intense shit. And it's basically, I've learned to work through everything that's thrown at me because I've been worse and I can see worse coming. If I don't quit smoking, then I don't get this surgery. And so I'll leave that there because in the meantime, I get myself in some major bullshit. I don't know if I mentioned last time I was on here, but I had a restraining order on me because some asshole put his fist up to my face and I grabbed it and put it upon his arm and he went a restraining order on me and I went to court and then that same scenario has happened twice in the last 2 weeks. So that's 3 times in a month. Somebody's raised their fist to somebody. Second time was to me again. Third time was to a guest of mine in my house. And that shit ain't okay. In the second event with me, I'm likely to go to court again on that because that just got out of hand. Person threw their hand up in my face again, and I didn't react. But if you read the law, what assault is when you throw your hand up at somebody's face, you have the intent, the ability to strike that person, and that's an assault, whether you strike them or not. And probably a good thing I didn't react. And then when I told the manager that She was lucky I didn't react. She accused me of threatening her. So we reached a new level of complaint with that company. And it was like facing the devil. It was like when I've been in relationships where I've had a partner just kept poking and poking and poking. And it's almost like you see the devil in these people. And it's the devil in yourself. You're facing. You got to be calm with your own self that's doing that. And both times I did my old training, I left the situation. I just said, like, dude, later. You're just like being crazy, and we'll leave before. Yeah. Um, so, God, where do I even start? Well, okay. Yesterday, I was in an all-day de-escalation training. My second time in 2 years. And I've also taken anger management again this year for everybody who wants to know these fucking things. And I've taken that half a dozen times probably in my lifetime, more than half a dozen, probably closer to a dozen. And you learn techniques and breathing, and I'm an expert at those things, and it still doesn't help if somebody fucking wants to bump your trigger or somebody wants to freaking attack you. So de-escalation training all day by a very experienced retired cop. Loved it. Told cop stories that were very relatable to situations all day long, and very in depth about mental illness, drug addiction, and de-escalation. And one of the main takeaways, and I posted this, was uh, there's assholes out there, and they ain't gonna like you. And his main thing when he put up the thing is de-escalation techniques, and the bottom thing said they don't always work. and so like half the day was basically physical protection in de-escalation situations. So only half the day was really how do you de-escalate with words. They didn't have a great enough emphasis to me on body language, which I think is 80% of it, human communication. I was talking about that with my friend at market today because me and Kevin, we talk on a level most people don't, and we do it around business and psychology and around healing and business, and it's all relatable. It's just communicating, interpersonal communications. There's all kinds of different little classes that I've had throughout my life that most people don't take. It was interesting. So anyways, yesterday was de-escalation training, and I've had these three incidents with people throwing up a fist on somebody and realizing that that's basically an assault. And so what happens? What do I do next in de-escalation training? I hear the poor lady from the church saying, well, we feel threatened when we give out food. And what does Mark do? Oh, I'll volunteer to go stand by you guys while you give out food so you don't feel threatened. So I went and did that today after market. And market was a whole experience also. But so I go to this place that I've avoided the whole time I've been in this town because all the homeless go there for their one meal a day. It's an awesome place. They serve a free hot meal every day, except for 2 days they serve sandwiches. But this church sets up and gives away free food there. And anyways, I go down there and I'm only supposed to be there a half hour. I thought, no big deal. I can't get in that much trouble. And I didn't even get close to getting in trouble, but what I saw just blew my frickin' mind. It made One Flew Over His Cuckoo's Nest look like a picnic. I don't know if those women knew it, but they had at least 5 or 6 schizophrenic individuals walking around. They had 4 of them that were going off. They had 2 of them that were going off on each other. They had 1 of them that was going off on everybody. And they had the 4th one was freaking me out. He was just wandering around the back, scoping everything, just being really paranoid. And he was huge black dude. And I think I'd known him from the streets. I knew a couple of these people from the streets. And I know them to be totally unstable and a couple of them, I'm pretty sure, got warrants out on them for some really bad shit. And they're like standing there right in front of me, and they know I know that they got warrants on me because it was shit that they got warrants for. They pulled right in front of me here at my apartment complex. So it's like, holy whoa. So, anyways, yeah, all these people, all these schizophrenics walking around amongst all these other pretty sketchy people, and yeah, they're going off. And it got pretty heavy at one point, and they were about to go to blows. And that was the only point. And I talked to the lady after. I did like a breakdown to her of how I was, what I was there for and doing. And I had totally take a position like off to the side, and I was acting disengaged from everything, pretending like I was getting ready to go online for food. And but when that shit started breaking out, and when they about started going to blows, and these people are weird. They watch everything. That's when I pulled out my phone. As soon as I pulled out my phone, everything toned down. And I was 30 feet away from them, but they were pulling his shit and watching everybody's action, trying to get everybody's goat, including mine. And it wasn't like I was a dead entity there. I'm learning all these things about space and energy. And again, Kevin and I talk about it. We do it at market. It works. We sell more stuff when we do our, move around people, get them to move properly. Um, and when you're in a de-escalation situation or a street situation, your body placement, where your body's at's more important than ever. And this cop talked about it tons about being in a building, and I already knew these things. You walk in a room, you want escape routes, you want to be near the escape routes, you want to be facing, the escape route. Um, just simple stuff that, like I told somebody today, I've been doing since I was a kid because my dad was a cop, and he talked about it all the time about how you enter a building and domestic violence and how things escalate and how you try to de-escalate. And I've never been good at that, but I'm gaining the knack, so I'm really happy. So yeah, I've been busting my freaking ass. This is all volunteer stuff, but totally got a calling for it. I could not have not stepped up and walked across the room and given that lady my card after I heard the fear in her voice. I just said, no, I know I can calm that situation just by being there. And if nothing else, I can step in front of whatever's coming after that lady. And that was what was in my mind there. And that was the energy I was keeping. I wasn't there to engage anybody, keep anybody away from anybody. Yeah, I would report if there was an assault, physical assault. I would definitely call the police, brought them in. I talked to the lady about that. And but no, I was there to protect those two ladies, make sure that they were not physically injured. Was my sole concern. They kind of got close to her once, and I was about ready to walk over, but I didn't because had I walked over, it would have made me more stand out among all the homeless that were all definitely trying to figure out who the frick I was. You know, these people ain't stupid. So, interesting stuff. So I'm sore as hell. I had to ride my bike down there, and again, I'm gaining a little physical stability where especially my bike, I'm trusting I can get on it and be careful and not overexert and get somewhere and get there easy because I can't walk hardly at all. And when I do, it hurts like hell. And I can walk a few steps without my cane, but generally I start shaking and trying to fall over. Even though I have extremely good balance in my workouts and my Tai Chi and my Qigong, I separate the two because Qigong is feet 2 inches apart. Tai Chi is feet just slightly further apart than the shoulders, toes slightly turned in. Two totally different stances. Get different movements throughout the body in each one I'm learning. And yeah, I'll finish off with the movement stuff that I'm learning because it really has been off the hook. I tried to explain it to Kevin, and he understands the most about what I do, especially working with a stick. And the things I do with a stick now are just way beyond anything I did videos on before. And I don't even know if I could do a video on it. It's so in depth. I used the stick and the flexibility of bamboo for my workouts 100% now. I was playing with it before, but now it's become a crucial part of just about every part of loosening my body. And I'm loosening my body, and I've been doing it for so long. I'm loosening it in a number of ways and going through full routines. For instance, I've talked about depotement. And today, for instance, I tapoted for about an hour. I was telling somebody today, and I didn't even think about it. I tapoted on my head for about 10 minutes, just on my head, because it took me about 3 minutes just on my forehead to get it to a nice numb, not numb, but warm, fuzzy feeling and awake. And then I started moving back and waking up to rest. So it took 10 minutes for the whole thing. And there's certain spots where there's nerve clusters, and I have to work those because especially in the back here, this nerve cluster goes down the neck and back to the eye, and I don't get shooting pains there no more because I worked this nerve cluster. So it's amazing the symptoms I don't have because I'm still pushing through these workouts despite the fact I'm on a certain amount of pain medication because I'm not taking it all day like I used to. And so it's endorphins. I talked about that before. My endorphins are as strong as they used to be. And I can feel that, but they're not as weak as I've been before. I've been very weak before. So I feel pretty comfortable that I'm getting strong. And as soon as I quit smoking, I will definitely be ready for the surgery. As scared as I was and still am, I'm pretty sure I can handle anything at this standpoint. And like I said, when I tapote, I got my fingers, I spend about 5 minutes just on my fingers and hand bones, and it gets so soft where now I've talked about it, I can impact my knuckles. You can hear that. It doesn't even hurt. Feels good. They'll start getting a warm, fuzzy feeling here in a second. And now that I can do that, I can hit the bones on my hips like that, on my head like that, on my other hard bones, and that gives it more circulation on my bones, especially the hips, which hurt so damn bad when you have a back injury and you get older. Bang on those suckers. My boss told me that all the way through training from the time I started because I came with a back injury. And one of my back surgeons was, you need a hip replacement. I'm like, no, it's my back making it that way. And these guys will go that way, and they replace that shit. I got a bum knee and he's replacing too. But as long as I don't push it too far, it don't ache and it don't swell, You got to work with these things. Like my 80-year-old Tai Chi teacher says, your body starts talking to you and you get older and you got more injuries. And you got to start listening and paying attention and giving it the work and the breath. And the breath is the most important part. When I'm working with my spine now, pushing against, like I said, that stuff with my bowels, trying to let loose, I have to work on my breath. In my stomach. I have to push my stomach back and forth. I noticed that when my bowels get ready to release like that, I normally can't even breathe in my stomach. It won't move. And I've trained to do this for years. And I mentioned it to the doc last time, and he was like, well, of course, Mark. Of course you can't breathe. And I'm like, what do you mean? Of course I can't breathe. I mean, I can't breathe. And yeah, according to him, he was like, yeah, of course you can't breathe. Your stomach can't relax because you've got scoliosis so bad down there. And just never dawned on me because I worked I pushed my stomach in and out so hard for years. Not hard, but in a smooth way to pattern it that way. And then, I noticed it wouldn't, and it gets so sore sometimes it won't move and I can't breathe. And it's crazy because, the smoking in my lungs, they're great. My lungs are actually pretty clear. You can hear they're pretty clear and great. Especially because I beat on the back of my lungs. I knocked that shit out. Beat on my chest, beat on my neck, especially because my neck gets so stiff. That'll give you a stroke and a heart attack, man, straight up. I'll tell you that. I've learned that through my training. These muscles here, and people start bowing over like I am, and I sit in this chair and I'm getting bowed over. But I rarely sit here, and it feels good to be kind of fetal once in a while because I spend most of my day pushing against my spinal cord, trying to be straight. Um, I may have a hump back someday, but it won't be because I didn't try not to. Because I understand that there's pain that comes with that, and people don't feel it because their pain levels get out of hand. And with my pain the way it is, it's so extreme in some places. I have to relieve my peripheral pain. I understand that now totally. My left side's almost completely immobile, but people can't see it in my movement because they're not trained like me for one. But they can't see it, and depending on my day and my workout, I I can do everything I did before. I just can't like lift a weight. Um, Certain movements, yeah, I can't be jerky with them. I'll break something. But other than that, I look pretty smooth as long as I'm careful. And that's all my workouts. That's what they're for. Is they're just to wake my body up and to prepare it for moving smoothly and calmly and as released as it can throughout the day. And no matter what anybody's workout, that's what you really should do with your breath work. You're just breathing to slowly expand and make your body breathe in different places. Feel it, become aware of being here now. That you're going to hear a lot of, or should hear a lot of. Be present wherever you're at. Be appreciative of everything, especially time alone, like I get so much. People don't get enough. They immerse themselves, like I'm watching, talking to my grandson. So I say, well, I'm watching your mom right now immerse herself. I've seen her do it many times in her lifetime, and yeah, it's not. It's fun, and you want to live life full, but it sets a pattern in your nervous system that you want to let life sort of come to you because it will come to you. Listen to what I'm telling you, especially if you're my grandson. Because being my grandson, things skip a generation. And I know that you're going to be totally 100% different to me, and you're not 100% my blood. You've got another side to you. And I know your grandpa. You couldn't have a better mix. He's got the calm that I don't. He really does. I really respect him a lot. So, you had a great family. Yeah, and I need to spank your mom right now, but it wouldn't be, it's not the first time. Just need a little spanking. So that's about it. I've had a really brutal physical, emotional, people-y couple of days, high end with, I don't even know what they call those situations, but pretty hectic. And yeah, I'm going into a week of 3 meetings. Only 2 I have to be at personally, and only 1 I have to be at most of the day. And so then I get a little bit of a break, but then it goes into holiday seasons. I'm just not prepared. I don't care because of the way things are. And then I'm hoping I quit smoking and slam surgery in here because I want it done in winter when I'm going to be hurting anyways, and I want to be recovering next spring, summer. I don't want to be sucking after. I want that over. Okay, I think I did a pretty round little video here. Uh, Covered health and healing, my body, my workouts, my medications. I want to have full transparency and honesty in my life from now on. I always did on this, but I want to make it as full and round every time, especially because it's a video diary, for my grandson, for students, for people in pain, and people who are dying. I want to say all those things because I'm doing all that work now, and it's intense, but I was born for it. I was made for it. My life prepared me for working with these people. Um, so yeah, gifted and happy and tired. So peace out. I'll be back. Hopefully not too sick and with any luck post surgery. But I know I'll do one pre surgery. So maybe not the next one, but one of these here real soon is going to be a pre surgery. And then you're going to hear about surgery you don't hear about too often if I live. So there's always that.